Welcome to this event called the Russian Talk Show within the framework of Focus on Russia at MIPCOM. The subject, obviously today, is Russian television, which is one of the most booming television markets today in the world, one of the most fast developing and most dynamic. It is indeed a market that is becoming more and more attractive to more and more players and people in the industry. Let me begin with Mr. Ernst. Channel 1 is 51% government controlled, 49% shareholder controlled. Channel 2 is 100% government controlled. Channel 4 belongs to Gazprom Media, which belongs to Gazprom, which is government controlled. How do you see the future of television? Rather, let me put it this way. What kind of television has a greater future? Totally government controlled, partially government controlled, or public television that is not, or private television, which also exists in Russia on a smaller scale? What's your opinion?
The controlling interest of the Channel 1 Russia belongs to the state. It's absolutely true. But the state doesn't pay Channel 1 Russia no penny, absolutely. The state is sitting pretty, isn't it?
That's not fair. They control you, but they don't pay you.
Yeah, but it's a very good situation. But Channel 1 Russia is not just a channel, you know. Many from the audience know that it's a part of their life for the majority of Russians. But I think the private channels have a big perspective because they develop in a more dynamic way, and them, as usual, them a state-owned channel. However, as to me, I think that form of ownership is secondary because its most important position is qualification and creativity power of the team of the channel. It's the first position. It's not so important like ownership.
All right. Mr. Krivitsky, Red Square works with major format companies that license non-scripted format. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. And that's worldwide?
Absolutely.
All right. How many seasons can your local adaptations work in Russia? And do they work in other countries?
We have a different situation in Russia and in other countries for television industry, because for many countries, and US and the head of them, they have all the seasons the same format as the first one. For example, in the United States, right now, Survivor is the 22nd season, and it looks like the first season at all. And for us, every season we develop the format, we're looking for further ideas, we're trying to make something new. And that's why our formats are growing and staying on air. So that's the reason for us to make them better and new and keep them on air.
Why aren't you developing your own original formats?
We are trying to do this, and we are trying to present them on the market, and hopefully the focus on Russia will also focus not on Russia, but on local formats as well. But we develop many local formats.
Okay. Mr. Kudryashov, SDS. Yours is a television channel that is known for being the #1 entertainment channel in Russia, or at least it started out that way. When you say entertainment, what do you mean?
Well, for us, for CTC, the way the channel is evolving, we want to deliver more of entertainment with a message. We want to translate cultural codes. We want to translate behavioral models. Our moral bar is set fairly high. One of the reasons is that we have many kids viewers at CTC, so we have to respect that audience.
You are the only, I believe, publicly owned company.
That's correct. We are the only publicly traded broadcaster listed in the US, operating in Russia and a number of other territories.
What is your target audience, considering that you need money, right?
Well, the CTC channel, which is our flagship channel, target audience is 6 to 54. Overall, research suggests that about 90% of the advertiser demand is focused on the 14 to 49 audience. Interestingly, within that group, the most attractive segment is 25 to 35. So about 1/3 of the advertiser demand is 25 to 35. At CTC a few years ago, we noticed that we're reaching peak levels for our audience and also perhaps peak levels for the power ratio. We looked closer into the structure of the demographics of our audience, and we realized that almost 30% of the audience are young people and kids younger than age 18. And we took a focus on modifying the audience over the time to reduce the kids' viewership and to increase the most attractive segment of the audience, 25 to 35. As a result, now 3 years on, 25 to 35 has grown to about quarter of our audience, from about 16%, and the kids' audience is on a decline.
What about this trend of multi-platforms? Are you involved in that at all? Are you attracted by that?
Sure, clearly we believe that non-linear TV viewership is a dominant trend with the proliferation of internet, with the increase of broadband penetration, proliferation of mobile screens, mobile devices. Viewing by appointment, non-linear viewing is only going to increase. We believe that's more of an opportunity rather than a challenge for traditional broadcasters. So we want to be where our viewers want to watch us. So our first response about 10 months ago was to launch a video hosting service called Video More, where everyone can watch the content of all of our channels for free. But we're not altruists, we're here, for the money. We're a public company, we have to deliver returns for our shareholders. So the model is advertiser supported. There's advertising inserts into the video stream. This is the way we monetize it. The next steps which we're taking this year is to take this model to mobile devices. The platform is now available for iPad, iPhone, Android devices. And I believe the great opportunities are being offered with the proliferation of so-called smart TVs, a TV set with internet capabilities. We're also developing the applications for so-called smart TVs.
Vladimir Smirnova, you represent Sony Pictures television production in Russia. And you've been there for nearly 10 years. You're the first major to appear on the Russian market. Over that 10-year period, what were the main obstacles that you had to overcome?
Well, me running an American branch of company in Russia was difficult because I was the bridge, and to sort of give the best worlds of both American way of doing business and using the expertise with the Russian business structures.
So you know the ins and the outs. What do I have to watch out for? What is different about the Russian market?
It's actually very different markets, to tell you the truth. In Russia, it's the market where you have to know people very well. You have to be in a very good relationship with your talent in order to get them working for you. Write shows, sell shows. So it's very different from what is in America.
Mr. Osipov, Video International. When we talk about advertising in Russia is still very young. First of all, I'd like to ask you, how far do you think advertising has come in Russia? And what is the long-term perspective, in your opinion, of advertising in Russia?
I believe that the advertising in Russia has made a pretty long way. Now it's about $10 billion US, so it's a really big market. And we are now on the 5th place in Europe. We are outrun by UK, by Germany,
yes,
by France, and by Spain. Only this.
So we're ahead of Italy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, and we believe that we will become the third market in a midterm perspective. We believe maybe in from 4 to 5 years.
Okay,
I believe that we will go digital and we will go more fragmented, as perhaps everybody else in this panel. But we are quite conservative. We think that television will continue to hold a major stake in the advertising market.
Thank you very much. Margarita Simonyan, editor-in-chief of RT, or Russia Today. This is the first and only Russian television station to broadcast in foreign languages: English, Arabic,
and Spanish.
and Spanish. Why did Russia come up with this idea of setting up that kind of channel? What's the aim?
My strong belief is that any country that cares about itself and about its place in the world, its place in geopolitics, should have a channel like that. And not just a channel like that, but other means of mass communication with the rest of the world as well. So the creation of our channel had really been long overdue, especially for a country that tends to have such a different view on international affairs, different from the, let's say, Western mainstream, be it war in Iraq or Libya or whatever. It's absolutely vital to have a channel of communication with the rest of the world that can get its message across at the times when it's absolutely crucial and absolutely needed.
Was it not created to furnish a certain image of Russia? And in that sense, is there not an underlying motive of propaganda in the creation of Russia Today?
If you log into the BBC World's website, what you'll see there is, I can't quote it, I mean word by word, but more or less it goes as following. We are the company whose only aim is to get the world understand British values and to make sure that British values are well known and well understood in the world. I really like that. It's more or less the same with us. It's not about Russia being made look good. It's about Russia being made understood.
Thank you very much. My last question to you, sir. Exactly what is the feedback of TV audiences in Russian? What can you tell us about what they like?
You mean audience research? Or?
Yeah.
Actually, there is not much difference between us and other European markets because amount of ad spend actually, as my colleague Maxim just mentioned, that in Big Five across Europe, so you anyway will have to spend those money correctly. So ratings should be measured correctly. And likewise in Europe, so will be three major situations need to be correctly measured. First is traditional watching to television in a linear way, and the other one is web streaming or catch-up video, which is also a growth trend across Europe, across worldwide. And number three is out-of-home viewing. Out-of-home viewing going to be quite huge phenomenon over the next years because of watching in offices, watching in public places, watching in bars, etc., etc. And those three issues research companies should be addressing, and it's going to be challenging for the next several years in Russia as well as in other countries.
All right, thank you very much.